Welcome to Vintage Burn. This is Kev.
Marco.
And we're doing a movie review, 1992's Dead Alive, if you're in North America, and anywhere else in the world known as Braindead.
Yeah, so this is a fun one. I'm going to read the synopsis, and it's super vague, and I would love to have gotten the synopsis before I actually seen the movie for the first time, because you really... It doesn't set it up for what you're really getting yourself into. A young man's mother is bitten by a Sumatran rat monkey.
Like coffee.
Rat
coffee?
monkey.
Is that like
Sumatran coffee.
Is that the one that like the monkeys eat it and shit it out and turn it into beans? Is that Sumatran coffee?
That could be it. I don't know.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about, though.
She gets sick and dies, at which time she comes back to life, killing and eating dogs, nurses, friends, and neighbors. Like, I think that's, there's other synopses that go, like, super into depth, but, that's all you need to know.
And I don't know, for those of you who are, I guess, millennials, the iconic VHS cover of the face ripping open the mouth with the skeleton coming out. Mm-hmm. Which, as a, backstage video store, I remember that. Mm-hmm. It must have been a movie in '92 that people loved because I always saw that cover.
Yeah, I remember the cover too. I remember always seeing that cover, but I was never big into horror growing up, so I never got it. But I remember always seeing that shit.
Yeah, same here.
It's crazy. Yeah, and then to find out that Peter Jackson, of all people, directed it. Like, him from like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbits, King Kong.
Yeah.
And all these big ass budget movies, but then I didn't realize he started out like in horror, like Bad Taste, Meet the Feebles, Dead Alive, and probably a few others. I didn't look into it, but
no, I think those are basically the few. And up until recently, he did one. Have you ever heard of They Will Not Grow Old?
No.
It's kind of like I saw in the Somerville Theater. It was like a super limited release, but like it's about like he's a super history buff. And it's about like World War II in the trenches. He'd kind of like find.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
He'd find letters and stuff, and he like I think his people kind of not acted out, but like they show the pictures like now and then, and like kind of read like the diaries of these. It was like it's very like.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it hits you.
I got to check that out because again, World War II. I know it's come up on this podcast many fucking times.
And this is a New Zealand movie, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And is he a New Zealander?
Yes.
Yeah. That's why Lord of the Rings most of it was shot in New Zealand.
Because he knew the locations, like Mount Doom and all that shit.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like when you watch this movie and the first thing you see is Wingnut Productions, I'm like, Jesus, which is cool. Even though going into watching it, I had knowledge that Peter Jackson directed.
Yeah.
But just to see that, you're like, wow, it reminds me of Lord of the Rings.
I'm sure a lot of people don't know his involvement in this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Bad Taste was his first movie. A little fun fact, he did the special effects for Bad Taste too. Like all the molds for the faces and stuff, he actually did like in his mom's oven. Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I've seen clips of it where like they're punching those faces.
Yeah. It's a very infamous cover. It's like this big, ugly, bloated-looking dude with like a fucking AK-47, like just flipping the bird.
Yeah, what it is like Doug turned me on to a documentary series called In Search of Darkness.
Yeah.
And awesome, man. They're very long, so I put them on in the background, but that's where I saw Bad Taste, and I saw those faces and stuff, and it was actually pretty cool. I actually kind of want to watch that movie. I heard it's not very scary, but it looks cool, Like, Dead Alive isn't scary. It's just fucking gory as fuck.
Oh, it's
and funny.
In New Zealand, they were actually going to rate it like a 15 because they thought like the gore was so comedic that it wasn't even scary. But then they decided to go like with an 18 rating. Okay, so IMDb ranked in at 7.5, and I usually don't bring up Rotten Tomatoes, but I thought this was mentionable. Rotten Tomatoes gave an 88%.
What?
Yeah.
So critics score 88%.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They got the satire.
Yes.
Yeah.
So. For budget was $3 million. Originally, it was going to be $4.5 million, and it was a flop in the box office. It made like $242 million, but it became such a cult classic. And I know we always talk about this, but that was probably just like theater.
Did you say 242 million?
Yeah, it was. Oh,
it did not make 242 million.
No way.
2 million, maybe.
Maybe 2.4 million.
No. I got it written down as fucking. Oh, Jesus! Don't tell me it was.
Did it make 242,000?
Yeah, it might have.
Yeah.
Oh,
it definitely didn't make 242 million.
Doug's giving us fake facts again on the podcast.
Captain fucking fake facts. Captain fake news.
All right, so yeah, I made 242,000.
You yelled at him last podcast. You're like, Doug, No, you're lying.
Well, he lied about 3 things.
None of these facts.
He was misinformed.
I lied about 2 things. I speed rushed the metal portion of that one.
You can find all of these facts on Dugopedia.com.
Yeah.
It's a new site. We are sponsoring it.
Yeah, so it was a flop, but over the years, and that might just be like the actual theatrical release.
Yeah.
Not like DVD release or... there wasn't a big, prop...
But does this movie have cult status, though? It's one of those movies that has grown,
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've known about the movie. I've never seen it until 2 days ago.
Oh.
Never.
Really?
I know the scene because you showed me the scene at the end.
Yeah.
But I've never actually seen the whole movie till 2 days ago.
Shit.
Same here, man.
Okay.
So I've seen it playing in the background here a bunch. Like, I've shown up and I'm like, you're watching it. And
It's easily top 5.
I mean,
just 'cause it's so
I don't-
outrageous.
Exactly. And I don't even, like, every time I've been here, the same scenes are up and I laugh because it's like an iconic scene. But I watched it for the first time on YouTube fully.
So, quick story before we get going. Last night, I was at my buddy's house. And I was like, yeah, I got to go home because I got to do some notes. Because I didn't do the notes yet till last night. I did watch it, but I didn't do the notes.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, let's see if it's on YouTube. And so we put it on. And this whole his whole house was just watching the movie and like laughing and stuff. And I was just like amazed. Because I was like, they're going to think it's dumb. Because they don't like silly shit.
Yeah.
And this is a silly ass shit movie.
It is. A lot of people say it's one of, like, not the original, but like one of like the greatest like horror comedies,
Yeah, well, yeah.
But I had a 16-year-old kid sitting next to me. He's like, "This is the greatest movie I've ever seen." I'm telling you, it's fucking funny. It was hilarious. And then I gave him a ride home, and he's telling me, "Man, we relate on so many levels. That movie was awesome." And I'm like, "What? Really?" It's good and it's awesome in a way, but fuck.
Glad it's snowing out for no reason.
Wow, it is snowing out. Holy shit! It's March.
You guys, no, you were supposed to get 2 hours worth, but it's supposed to be. It's just going to be like flurries and then gone.
Good thing I'm only on call for another hour and a half, and I got coverage.
Yeah. Good.
But yeah, it's all right. So I didn't realize you both haven't seen it up until recent.
Yeah.
No.
New.
And everyone always, it's almost like, remember Sleepaway Camp, how everyone talks about the shocking last scene? It's like, yeah, there's same kind of thing with this movie. There's kind of a very iconic, like, last, say, 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
But
Like
I think
40.
there's so many great parts. Huh?
Like 40, you mean?
It is.
It's
40.
literally like
35,
40
yeah.
fucking minutes, man. Yeah.
From my
The
uncle.
most. I mean, you can go on YouTube. The first thing that comes up is just like, watch the lawnmower scene. That's it.
Yeah, so that's like
the
the
lawnmower scene.
That's like the dick scene from Sleepaway Camp. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the most iconic, but there's so many great little, like, the whole Pope scene, the whole,
I
like...
can't wait to get to my favorite scene, which is actually even earlier in the movie, which is funny, but lawnmower scene's great.
All right, let's
Yeah.
go, man. Let's fuck it.
So,
Start it.
one more fun fact.
Sure.
Fucking 300 liters of blood was used in the final
I
scene.
believe it.
So how many gallons? That's like 100 gallons, right? Or
I
something?
wrote it down. It's like 80 gallons. Or
80
something.
gallons.
Yeah, it's supposedly one of like the bloodiest, maybe not just horror movies, but bloodiest movies of all time.
Again, watching that last night, that was a question that was asked.
How
My buddy asked, how many gallons of blood do you think was
Yeah.
used in
Dude,
this?
5 gallons per second in the lawnmower scene. It was just like being pumped out.
What about pus? How much pus was actually
yeah.
had to be made
Pus,
to
vial,
putting pus? Pudding pus.
Pudding pus.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So I have kind of like not breakdown by what happened every detail in every scene, but just kind of like we can kind of walk through the movie real quick and just talk about our favorite thing. Cause
That's fine.
In each scene, there's so much shit going on.
Can we talk about the opening with the spares and stuff?
Yeah, that's all right. So this here, let me.
I didn't know where this was. And I'm like, oh, where the fuck is this going? And I loved like the really bad. Are you afraid of the dark? Like little keyboard sounds. Like, oh.
So Skull Island. This is set in the 50s too in New Zealand. So Skull Island, southwest of Sumatra.
Great King Kong movie.
Yeah.
by the way.
So there's a lot of nods to it. I didn't realize. Obviously, he went on to.
But he didn't
the
do
remakes.
he didn't do Skull Island.
No, he didn't.
Skull Island's more recent, yeah.
But that's why he chose that location. Like a lot of nods.
I
to
got you.
Yeah, he was. There's actually a ton of them. I didn't write them all down, but there's a ton of.
There's
nods.
got to be a nod though too. We'll talk about when we get there. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
So we got 2 dudes carrying a bamboo cage with a monkey in it, in some deep mountain valley, I guess in Sumatra. They get tripped up, and the white dumb guy and his worker. So the white dumb guy says, "No, pick up the case, no, get the big dollars." And then all of a sudden they kind of get surrounded by natives with spears. The worker translates to the Sherman dude. And he has he's like, permit. The guy doesn't give a fuck.
Permit.
They're like these tribe people, literally.
Yeah, they're like
they don't know what a fucking permit is.
yeah, he's like, they
They
all
are
kind of make this face and they kind of basically almost laugh and like rip
totally stereotypical native flesh-eating natives with the bones through their noses, and that's what I loved about that too. The face paint with the bones in their noses and stuff
like voodoo looking, like something from a grotesque album cover.
Ridiculous.
Sure.
Ridiculous.
Or the original album cover for Pleasures of the Flesh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally over the top.
So they tell him to set the monkey free, never come back, and the dumb white guy pulls out the perm, we just talked about it, they rip it up. So he pulls out a fucking M16 like machine gun, just starts shooting around, not at him, but kind of scares them away.
Over them, yeah.
Yeah,
he shoots over them, and they all duck, yeah.
He kind of cuts the cage free, and they start to run down the hill to the Jeep. And this is, like, this one's, like I always say, right out of the gate, like, this, it gets right into, like, the gory shit.
Mm-hmm.
So on the way down the hill, hold on, I got into some. Yeah, they run down the hill. So the worker's like chasing the Jeep, and the other guy's like, just go, go, go. And he's holding the cage, and he gets bit in the hand.
Yeah, but before that, I think it's before that, you see I want to say Africans, but whatever they are, tribes people, and they fucking throwing the spears, right?
Yeah.
Did you notice the guy, they can't throw the spear more than 2 feet?
Oh, like they're just like...
Yeah, like they would throw the spear, and you think in a movie it would actually kind of land near the Jeep. But the guy, it literally lands 2 feet in front of the guy. I'm like, how are these guys throw... It's so funny, I have it right here.
That's because these guys would have been dead halfway down the mountain before they got to the Jeep.
Yeah, but I said...
real.
My notes, dude, spear throwing is horrific.
Dude, it's true. I wanted that for a reason, you know? They didn't want to actually get hurt.
But that's the funniest thing is that, like, out of everything, right? Like, we'll get to an air scene. I didn't notice the first 2 times I watched it, maybe because I looked away when it happened. And we'll get to that. And Kevin was already, kind of touched on that scene. But, like, the spear throwing, I noticed every time. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you do notice it.
Yeah, I thought about it, too.
But anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, right after that, the dumb white guy gets bit on the hand.
Dumb white guy.
and by now, the worker's kind of like hopped on the Jeep. So the worker kicks him off the Jeep and says, "You've got the bite," and proceeds to cut off his hand. And then all of a sudden they kind of like pan over and you see that he got like bit or scratch in the shoulder. So they basically hack off his shoulder. Mm-hmm. And then they just like kind of like pan up and you see he's got a scratch on his head. And you don't see it, but you know.
It shows like him about to chop and then the dead alive comes on the screen.
So we know what's coming. Yep. And then, like I said, you see the axe swing up, whatever, like cleaver thing, and then pops up dead alive with the dripping logo, which I thought was a pretty good...
Now I want to see, like, the Braindead logo, though. Do they do this? I wonder if they do the same thing in the Braindead version.
And we never saw what was in the cage.
We still haven't seen what was in the cage.
Not yet.
We don't know. We
just know it's a monkey.
We see its claymation ass in a little while.
Yeah, terrible.
No, it's so good.
It's cool. No.
So good, it's bad.
Right.
It's so bad, it's good.
No,
it's like
I agree.
Video.
That's what I was just about to say.
So bad, it's good.
Because my buddies yesterday when we were watching it, when they saw that rat monkey thing, they were like, I don't know.
Yeah, dude, first
kind
time,
of cheesy.
awful.
I would rather that any day over like shitty CGI.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I think. I'm not sure. Is that technically CGI or is it supposed to be?
No, that's like claymation.
Is it really
it's claymation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see it's like claymation. It's like watching fucking Celebrity Deathmatch.
But because of how slapstick this movie is, it actually doesn't look bad because you're not supposed to take it seriously.
Right.
If this was a serious horror movie, I'd be like, this is fucking terrible. I can't go on.
Correct.
I can't go on. But because you're already between the music, and the stupid highs and lows in the movie, and the way they run,
and the New Zealand accents.
When the New Zealand accent. When they
gone funny on the brain.
When they run. He's got his arms and legs like flailing like when he runs. They don't run like normal. Like you can tell it's
like
a
normal
Americans.
Joke.
It's a joke.
Yeah,
the whole thing's really just straight up satire.
There's parts in this movie though, like I'm gonna jump ahead. Like the priest, I'm not gonna talk about the scene, but the priest in this, like there's this dude that I met at a metal fest in like 2017. His name is Evan from New Zealand. And all I hear when they talk is him. And it makes me think of Evan, like, all the time. And shout out to Evan if you ever listen to this. Fucking New Zealand rules.
Did he say, I kick ass for the Lord?
No. I never heard him talk about the Lord, but...
Okay.
He has a great dance to Spears of Madness by Decapitated. Though. We have it on video. And I'll see if I can get that video so I can show you.
What festival is this?
Brutal Salt.
Oh, Brutal Salt.
Yeah.
Dude, I gotta get my ass over there.
Great fest.
Okay, so getting back to it. You see a monkey being sold to a stuffy Navy-looking dude at the airport. It's like some sketchy-ass, like, at night. Like, looks like something out of King Kong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Gets onto a plane, and you kind of just see the plane, almost like an airplane.
Yeah.
You know, like super cheesy, like flying plane.
Yeah. It's a toy plane with fake clouds in the background.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And it says BJ on the front.
BJ?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
When it lands, you see the BJ. I don't know what that means, but I think of BJ. You know what I think of.
I hope it's actually. But Lionel, who... All right, so let me just go over this real quick. So there wasn't a ton of like well-known actors in this, and none of them went on to do a ton of other stuff. But so Timothy Balmy.
I didn't do any research, so tell me.
Balme. So that was Lionel. He really didn't do a ton after this. Diana Penaliva played Paquita, which Paquita actually means what? Like small but cute in Spanish?
Yeah.
Like Boquita?
Bonita means like pretty.
That's beautiful, yeah. But Boquita, we used to call a girl Papagenos Boquita because she was like teeny, but she was cute.
Yeah.
They have like words for like just like fat, like feo, and then like gordito, like it's like cute or chubby, you know? They have,
right.
Kind of like a mean.
Well, feo's ugly.
Feo's ugly, yeah.
Fat is
Gordo.
Gordo.
Yeah.
And
So, yeah, gordo and
flaca is skinny.
Flaca is skinny?
Yeah,
Flaca sounds like fat though, doesn't it?
No, I think flaca means skinny too, but that could be like Puerto Rican Spanish. It's all different. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But it's funny how they have like a word for like kind of a mean way and then like a cute way. You know, like fat and chubby. You know, I mean we have that in America. But Elizabeth Moody that played the mom, she was in Lord of the Rings. She had a small part in that. I still don't even know who Liberia is.
I don't know either. Yeah, I have no idea.
Ian Watkin was the uncle who looks like Donald Trump and fat bastard from Austin Powers at a Love Child.
Oh, and he kind of reminds me. You know who he reminds me of too? Is Biff Tannen from Back to the Future, like an older version.
Yes. Yeah. Especially I definitely see Biff. And
like Back to the Future 2 Biff. He reminds me of he's older.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Only thing he really went on to do was play the fair announcer in Charlotte's Web. He should have played the pig.
He's such an asshole too. But
and then Stuart Devine, Father Magruder was in.
He's the best.
Yeah, he was in The Frighteners, and he was.
Oh, I love The Frighteners.
Yeah, and that's another one Peter Jackson did was The Frighteners.
Oh yeah, I forgot he did that one. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I love that movie too.
I do too. Yep.
All right, so that's Michael J. Fox. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I used to get The Frighteners and 13 Ghosts mixed up, and I don't know why because they're completely fucking different.
Yeah, that's another one I liked. A lot of people hated that remake.
What 13 Ghosts?
Yeah.
I love what's his name? Marco. What's his name? From like SLC Punk and Scooby Doo.
I know who you're talking about. I forget his name. Honestly, I can't remember.
It's one of those ones. That, like,
He's in Scream also.
Yeah, he was in Scream.
Yeah.
He was in what was the one? He was in a young one.
Matthew Lillard.
That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
By the way, he's going to be in Scream 5.
Is he really?
Because they're going backwards in time. They're going. This is Scream 5 is going to be the prequel to the first one.
Oh no shit!
Interesting.
Matthew Lillard's coming back.
What was the one with him and Angelina Jolie?
They're all back actually.
Scanners. It's like a computer. It's like 90s, and they're like
if
hackers hackers.
Hackers probably because Scanners is what's the dude that did Videodrome? Cronenberg.
Oh yes, okay, you're right.
That's a Cronenberg.
So hackers.
Sorry, this is on the record, so it's not prequel. They're doing it's Scream 5. Somehow Matthew Lillard he survived the first one or so. So they're all older now. Obviously, they can't go back and fucking CGI their face. They could, but they're not. I'm glad
I'm not the only one giving out fake news here.
Yeah, it's no, but I'm correcting my fake news. It's Scream 5 will be. It's going to be post and new, but somehow they're bringing Lillard back, which is cool. Anyway.
Nice. We'll have to. We should do Scream at some point. That'd be fun.
Yes, I fucking love that series. Anyway.
So catching you up, we basically left off where the plane lands.
Yeah.
And then it goes. I think almost. Does it right to the zoo?
Well,
oh no, Chiquita's.
It goes to the store, but we could skip to the zoo. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, honestly, these are just there's so much going on.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on.
So she likes this dude Roger, but then she gets her tarot read by her gypsy grandmother, or whatever. Because I think Boquita's a gypsy. I'm pretty sure they're gypsies. So yeah, she gets her tarot read saying that she'll meet another dude, and then Lionel comes into her life.
Okay.
You know, we could just start from there. Then they go on a date to the zoo.
And can we just point out, there's not really a plot to this movie.
No, but Lionel's mother, though, is a bitch. Remember, she's making him clean and stuff?
Yeah.
And she's overbearing.
She's
an
rich
asshole.
bitch.
So you see that beforehand, and then he meets Boquita. And they
mansion,
go on a date.
Right?
Yeah.
The plot of the story takes place in a mansion. In his mansion, his mom's mansion.
Mm-hmm.
He's a mama's boy. She treats him like shit. There's no fucking plot to the story. We've got this exotic woman. We're not sure what nationality she is, but she's supposedly...
She's Latin American.
Air quotes, exotic. Yeah, gypsy,
She's
exotic.
Spanish, because the uncle says it. The uncle says it. He's like, oh, that's Spanish, or whatever he says, Spanish ass.
Spanish something with a cute butt.
Yeah, the cute bum. Yeah,
cute bum.
So, but there's no real plot other than we know that takes place, majority of this time it's taking place at this mansion. That's, like, the place.
For the most part. But the zoo is what sets it up. So let's get to the zoo. The date.
the date. So we talked about this before. The rat monkey at the zoo. I wrote is an awesome scene. Obviously, you guys felt a little bit different. But like you said, for what it is, it's
I don't feel, dude.
Right.
I think it's awesome.
I wrote like a Tool video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's just that like claymation, that very like
early Tool video, like prison, sex, sober.
Yes,
stuff. Sure.
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did they make videos after that?
I don't know.
I stopped watching them after they were like claymation.
That was the MTV generation, bro. That was '93. So.
All right.
That's probably when you were watching MTV like a motherfucker.
So they're sitting there. This like I said, most of this I'm going from memory. They're sitting there, and then all of a sudden, one monkey grabs the other, and the rat monkey grabs the other monkey and kind of fucking like takes its arm and
rips his arm
eats
off.
that shit.
Yeah. So the only reason I bring that up, the zookeeper comes and he tells them kind of the story. Like they only come from one island. The story is that the rats run off to slave ships and raped all the monkeys. That's kind of where this rat monkey like comes from. You know?
The zookeeper looks like the guy from the beginning too. That's supposed to take place in the 50s, which is funny.
Well, the whole movie takes place in the 50s.
Oh, it does?
Yeah,
Yes.
the whole movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, like the cars and stuff. You didn't notice how
Like even when the
it's
mother
not Cuba.
when the mother dies, her gravestone says
I mean, it's New
1957.
Zealand. I don't know how far back they're set, you know? It's...
Yeah, when they bury the mother, it even says 1957.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So speaking of the mom, she's following them because she doesn't approve of whose Lionel's with, and no one's too good for him. He's mama's boy.
Yeah, she's fucking date crashing.
Yeah.
She's like, fuck this.
I was going to say, who brings their mother on a date?
Yeah,
no, she went on her own.
Yeah,
He had
she's
no
like in the
idea.
bushes. She was supposed to be hiding, and that's when she gets bit. So she basically gets bit in the back of the arm or in the arm.
On the arm, yeah, the forearm.
On the forearm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's funny though. As soon as she screams when she gets bit, Lionel recognizes Mom,
yeah, Mom.
Mom, and so he runs over, and she's like, "Take me home," and ruins the date because she got bit by the monkey.
That's right.
Yeah, she makes a whole thing about herself, even though she shouldn't have fucking been there.
Yeah.
You know.
She gets hers.
So yeah. So then they get home, and then they get a letter about the ladies' welfare league.
Yes, yeah. And she's all happy. She's gonna be part of it.
Yeah, she's been like looking forward to this for years, fucking, and then they end up showing up. The people, I forget their name, but the people end up showing up.
It's the next day.
It's the next day.
So because she has remember she's sleeping, and Bokita comes over and Lionel fucks her. Pretty much.
Oh, you think they banged? You think they bumped?
They were in bed when it showed the kiss and then they were in bed.
You're right.
But then it goes to the grandmother, the mother. I keep thinking it's grandmother because
I know,
she looks
'cause
so
she's so
old. But the
fucking
mother, and then it shows inside her arm and it has like that pulsing scene.
Oh.
And that's when you could see she's trying to churn.
Yeah, doesn't she pudding puke too? Like they show like
That's coming up. That's coming up. That's when the welfare league shows up.
No. Before then, at night too, she pukes I think she like coughs or something.
Oh yeah, and it's like some red liquid that comes out.
Pukes on something.
Yeah.
Pudding.
I call it pudding puke. Yeah.
But the next morning, what happens is she's like getting rebandaged. He opens the wound, and you see the wound pulsating. And then that's when the doorbell hits and the welfare league shows up.
Healthy.
Yeah,
the
so
welfare league.
They're trying to get her ready.
The ladies' welfare league.
Yeah, ladies' welfare league.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's still somewhat normal at this point. You know what I mean?
To an extent.
To an extent.
Yeah.
Except for her face falling off.
Yeah. Oh.
So her face just kind of peels off.
Oh, that's the best. She freaking cuts it and like a little sliver like peels down, and then he fucking glues it because he's like, they're here, and she's like, oh, I gotta get ready, and so he glues her fucking face shut. It's so weird.
And what I love about all of this is it's not concerning to him at all that like her face just peeled and he had to glue it. It's
because she literally just did a little scratch to it.
Yeah, a little normal.
And then a big piece of it like flopped over.
That's what I love about this is he's not like none of this stuff makes sense. Okay, as we go deeper into this, it's just normal to him.
It just goes to show you that like he's so up his mom's ass that
he's not paying attention to like
this isn't a normal thing.
The living
it's
dead.
It's mom, you know. Yeah. So then the dinner custard scene, which
that's the best.
Yeah,
it might be my favorite freaking scene, or one of my favorite scenes in this movie, man.
The one with the ladies' league.
I love it. Yeah,
okay.
because like the pus. Kevin, this is the part you were talking about. The pus.
What? No pudding.
Yeah, no pudding. So they have dinner, and they're like, oh, we should leave, and the guy that's with the women's league, which is weird, but he's like, you know what? No pudding, like he said, and then the pudding comes out, and pus flies out Mom's arm. And right into his thing.
And it's like bloody, just like a little.
And he's eating it. He's like, oh, I forget what he says.
I've had custard since I was a boy.
Yeah,
or something
like that.
Oh, dude.
But the lady notices all this going on, right?
Yeah.
And the mother's ear falls off and falls into her pudding, and she eats her own ear. Which is disgusting. Which I didn't actually notice till the third time in the movie.
Is that the one with like the pearl earring?
Yes.
It's like a pearl earring.
And then that's when the lady runs out. And she's like, oh my God. And then when the lady comes back... I forget what happens now. Hold on. Lady comes back.
I don't know if she comes back. I thought he said, like, that's a fine meal, boy. And then,
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking of is the nurse. I'm mixing up.
In the ear is when she like chews in the it's crunchy and they can hear it, and one of the women like is like I gotta. She like gets up
she runs out of the room
to run away. Yeah,
it's awesome.
So then Paquita comes to tell Lionel that he's in great danger.
Chiquita,
or Poquita. Sorry,
Poquita, right?
Poquita
with a B.
With a P.
Oh, it is with a P.
Poquita, yeah.
Because I was watching it with subtitles. They say it spelled it 3 different ways.
Oh,
yeah. So I wasn't sure if it was Paquita, or there was another one. I forget what the other one was, but there was 3.
So this is a scene where like the dog like runs upstairs, and the mom they go upstairs to find the dog. Like this wasn't like I don't know why he couldn't tell Poquita right then and there that something's fucking weird with my mom. She ate my dog. It's like that's not a normal thing. Like shame on her for not.
But not all of it.
But the scene,
not all of it.
But the scene leading into it, though, like when he's pulling the tail or whatever it is,
and it's long
out of her mouth, and it just looks so fucking cool, man. It's just coming right out of the mouth, and you could see like the blood and like cause she's churning into like a zombie. Like I don't know if they're zombies. They must be, right?
Yeah, they don't eat brains, but they just
they're zombie-like.
Zombie-like,
you know. And they pull it out, and you can see like her cuts on her face, and she's just starting to get gross.
The makeup, like, real gross. The makeup for such in early '90s movie.
All practical too.
All the practical effects are amazing in this movie. I think that's what makes it great. Is even though it's a slapstick comedy horror movie, the work on the face and all the makeup, it's amazing what they did. It wasn't shitty. We've seen shitty comment like this is fucking bad.
Yeah.
It was great. Mm-hmm. Everything. Oh,
for the most part.
She
ate my dog.
Yeah. Not all of it. And he looks at the bed and it's fucking sharded like all over the bed.
Dude,
there's intestines and fucking...
Yeah, they did in the blood in this movie too. It's not like movies where it looks like red paint. Like the blood is super realistic. And I don't even know if they use like...
You gotta add green to it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, Tom Savini said in his documentary, you got to add green to make it look like real blood.
So it's like the color wheel.
Yeah,
it's like the color wheel.
You've seen it, Smoke and Mirrors.
Yes,
that's where he talks about
it.
I just watched it yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah. The blood.
I've actually seen that movie like 3 times. I love that documentary.
I know I gotta watch that. One's on my list to watch.
I mean, if you think about it, kids, we're gonna get scientific now. I mean, technically, our blood is blue before oxygen hits it and turns it red.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild to think about. In your veins, that's why when you see in your veins in your hand, you can see the appearance of blue. We bleed. We're actually blue blood, man.
Yeah, blue bloods.
We're blue bloods.
Biohazard told me that a long time ago.
Yeah. Doug's actually looking at his veins right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I always thought that was a wise tale, but...
No?
They're all blue. You can see it in my hand.
Blood. I mean, you can see it blue, for sure, but I don't know if that...
Oxygen, when it hits, it turns it red. It's fucked up. That's wild. We actually have blue blood. That's so cool. We're blue fucking blood. Aliens.
Blue blood. Yeah, I fucking Magic School Bus Live.
I feel like I live in Connecticut now. Connecticut Blue Bloods. That's a wrestling thing, I think, but...
All right.
ECW.
Let's go on.
So the nurse tells him that basically his mom's like a zombie.
ECW.
And then gets her head ripped off.
Yep. The nurse, that fucking head, man.
That is my favorite scene.
That's your favorite scene?
That is my favorite scene. Your mother, she loved you so... Fingers right in the
skin.
Cheeks,
yeah.
Into the skin.
Under the skin.
Under the skin.
Yeah.
Under the skin. And then it gets better. She rips her fucking head backwards off of her head.
Which is going to lead to my favorite scene in a little while. Which I love.
That is my favorite scene because I'm like, it looked so good.
Yeah.
It looked so good.
And I love the part where her head flops back, but it keeps her vision, so everybody's upside down. It like literally flops back, so it's hanging on by a limb off her neck, and then everybody's upside down. You see Lionel upside down on the screen.
Dude, yeah.
It's awesome.
The effects are just unreal.
The nurse, and then the nurse is pregnant, by the way, which I didn't find out till later.
Yeah, we find out. Someone's pregnant.
Yeah, the baby. That comes from the nurse, I'm pretty sure.
No, yeah, it's from the nurse, but it's from her and the...
Oh, okay. Never mind. Let's,
yeah.
let's move on.
It's a love child.
I did not realize
It's
that.
a dead love
I
child?
thought
It's
she
a
was.
dead yeah.
I thought she was already pregnant.
I don't think so. I think it was from when the priest...
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Yeah.
So the nurse comes
That's
back...
interesting.
Nurse comes back to life.
Yeah, I thought it was in your... I thought that's...
Nurse comes back to life, and then he basically locks them both in the basement. There's a ton in between that, but... And then... Alright, so here's... he goes to a... supposed to be a veterinarian, right?
So I don't know. Like
It's
like, just some guy with a lab coat.
It's a New Zealand doctor.
Yeah, and he's got a German accent. I don't know if this is like a throwback to like Return of the Living Dead or something.
Oh yeah.
You know, because there is some throwbacks. Like, you know, I'll talk about one in a little bit, but it's weird because the guy obviously he has the German accent. He looks Nazi-ish.
Yeah.
But you don't see nothing for a while. The scene goes on for a couple minutes.
Because he makes a joke about, like, I have my paper, like, or,
yeah.
There's something he says that makes you think that something's kind of weird.
Yeah, so, like, he gives him tranquilizer. Like, this big, stupid bottle of tranquilizer.
Yeah. Well, he asks for a sedative, and he's
Yeah.
like, he basically says, like, I'm not, you know, that's not what I have. I'm not, basically, I'm not dealing drugs. And
Yeah.
then he's like, oh, but I have tranquilizer.
Big over the top.
But then...
Big over the top.
It shows his, I think, right arm, I believe.
Well, you
left arm, most of the time.
Yeah.
And then after he gets him the tranquilizer, when he turns around, he has a lab coat on. And for some reason, it has a hole in the sleeve.
You actually hear it rip. If you pay attention to
Oh,
it,
really?
you hear like a little... And then all of a
Oh,
sudden,
I
you
didn't
just see
notice
like
that.
a swastika band.
Yeah, there's a swastika there. And I was like, where did this fucking come from?
And that's... And my opening was supposed to say, if you want guts, gore, 80 gallons of blood, and a Nazi, this is the movie for you.
Yeah, man. But it's just like the one and only appearance of him.
Yeah.
But why put the Nazi... You know, I'd
Like,
probably
we all-
trying to be edgy at the time or something.
Well, I mean, if it takes place in the 50s, it's supposed to be like the Nazi that got away.
Of course, yeah. Then that's why I think it might be kind of a nod to Return of the Living Dead. I wouldn't doubt there's like nods, because I see a Monty Python nod coming up.
Oh.
In a way.
Okay.
Yeah, in a way.
Maybe, hey, you're onto something. Maybe that's what they were thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do a good mix of Return of the Living Dead and Monty Python. Because it is. It's so comical. It's great. It's like English stupid humor. It's beautiful.
So then he comes back from the Nazi tranquilizer guy. He's going downstairs. He's dressed up with like a helmet and pads and like a huge... like almost,
Yeah, it's like cricket stuff.
Yeah,
because
cricket
New
stuff.
Zealand, they love cricket.
And then he ends up tranquilizing the mom in the nose and the nurse in the eye. And the nurse got stabbed too. That's another thing. She got stabbed at something, right? Because the rest of the movie,
She's got something in her head.
It's like a fish or something. Like
he took something off the wall, trinket off the wall, and like hucked it at her head.
And I wonder if like the eye stuff is like a nod to like Italian horror, because the Italian horror loves to mess with eyes.
Giallo.
Yeah, Giallo, Argento, all of them. They love like eye play.
Shout out to Tyrus.
Yeah. But they love fucking with people's eyes. And that's my pet peeve. I could watch anything, but when you fuck with eyes and teeth...
Fingernails do it for me.
Fingernails too, actually.
I don't know
a little
why.
bit too. Yeah,
Tyrus,
I cringe.
Tyrus and I had an extended talk the other day on Messenger about he watched Mom and Dad for the first time, the Nicolas Cage one. He was just like, holy shit.
Did he like it?
Nice. I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I've seen it. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was kind of... Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, it's fun,
fun.
but it really has no point.
I've showed a few people that since you showed me it, and they're like, what, did they run out of money at the very end? Like, why is it, like, open-ended? I'm like, no, it's a full-ass movie. It's just, like, that's how they decided to cut it off, you know?
Yeah, it's weird. But I see what they're saying.
So then Lionel goes to see Poquita and her grandmother, and she gives him like a talisman, like the power of the white light that will protect you. And there's really no rhyme or reason to this, but that might just go with like the gypsy kind of.
But throughout the movie, that thing does protect them. Like,
yeah, it's true. But there's no rhyme. There's no need for it, but it's just there maybe because of the whole gypsy angle.
Yeah, I did wonder how through all of this and all of the people like putting their dead bodies up against them, how they didn't get a scratch or they didn't end up with a...
Oh, yeah.
It's funny. I'm like,
again,
wait a minute.
As we've talked about 1,000 times, it's a fucking horror movie about zombies that got bitten by a rat monkey. So suspend a little disbelief.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
You're
saying?
gonna know going into this one, like, don't try to, like, figure out the logistics. Just enjoy it for what it is.
And, like, because there's a part I'll talk about later where it falls into it, but I want to wait till we get there because it's the climax of the movie. It's the nut. Yeah, the climax, the nut.
Oh, the nut. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't remember. And so then he basically walks out in like the front of the store, and then the mom's like on the loose. Somehow she gets out of the basement. And this is when she gets hit by the trolley and like it's launched and breaks through the window of like the store.
Yeah. She gets hit in the middle of the street, but she gets launched to like the right or whatever. But whatever. Again, let's suspend disbelief.
Yeah. So I think the next scene is actually like the mom's funeral. Now, at the mom's funeral, did you notice what song was playing on the organ while the mourners were waiting to get in?
I actually did not.
No.
You might not, but you should.
No.
Sodomy.
Oh,
you might think
really?
That's a little odd of me that I enjoy the act of sodomy.
Sense.
So he did a little nod to Meet the
His
Feebles.
own movie,
his own movie that came out.
Oh
So, but it's like an
God.
organ version. I didn't notice it either until I read it, and then I'm like, that's totally fucking it. So,
That's perfect. I
We
gotta see that again then.
Bum, 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 bum.
That part I noticed. Yeah.
That's
Or
awesome.
you know what it is? Maybe I've heard you guys sing it so many times, so I have heard
That
you
is
sing it a
great.
few times.
Oh,
Three
yeah,
beers, I
that's
start
great.
singing song.
That's probably where it comes from. I think Kevin sang it on one of the old podcasts, actually. Yeah, pretty sure.
And then I think this is when we first meet Lionel's scumbag uncle.
Yeah, he's a fucking shitbag.
Yeah, you just want to punch him. He just has such a punchable face.
Oh, what a dick.
And I even have it in my notes. Uncle is a shitbag.
Yeah, that's where I have the whole thing about Donald
You
Trump.
know who
meets...
he reminds me of too? He reminds me of the gay interior decorator from Beetlejuice.
A little bit.
Oh,
I can see that. I can see
Yeah.
that.
Like the chubby face, the fucking...
Yeah, it's funny because he reminds me, I already
That
said it,
douche. He's a
but Back to the
douche.
Future 2 Biff.
Yes.
He
yes.
reminds
That's funny.
me of him.
We all got different scumbags.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I said, I got
Douchey.
Fat Bastard and Donald Trump. Love John.
Yeah, but Fat Bastard's the best.
Yeah. Oh, I love Fat Bastard.
What's that line he says? He's like,
I eat because I'm upset, and I'm upset because I eat.
yeah,
that
something
one?
like that. I love that scene. I sent it to you not too long ago, actually.
When the hell did I eat corn? Yeah.
I love that guy.
Oh, Uncle. Yeah, Fat Bastard. I wish Fat Bastard
Had his own
like,
movie.
spin-off. Yeah, why wouldn't-
man.
Michael
I
Myers
agree.
isn't doing shit. Get Michael Myers. Get on that.
Michael Myers is like small appearance guy now.
Yeah.
He was in like Inglourious Bastard some years ago, and then he was in the
He's
Queen
made-
movie,
He's made his money.
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury movie. He played
He was in that.
Yeah, he played the record guy.
He just did the Wayne's World thing in the last Super Bowl. He did the little.
Yeah, it was garbage.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I just heard.
Oh, I
it,
fucking
but
hated it. I wanted to punch
Everyone was like, "Yeah, why ruin?"
Wayne and Garth in the face.
Yeah.
For doing it. But it's funny. I'm sure that they made a
Yeah,
lot.
money. Yeah, he's, like we said, he's probably not doing a whole hell.
All right, anyway.
Even though he made it.
What do we got?
So Paquita is looking for Lionel, but he is down trying to give his mom another shot. Oh, so this is in the morgue. So she comes to the thing, and this is like the morgue scene. This is the one that Peter Jackson's
So
in.
I have a feeling this is an ode, though, with the wheel, the Hammer Horror Frankenstein.
Oh.
So if you watch the Hammer Horror Frankenstein, there's some sort of wheel, a switch. They're trying to turn it off
Yeah.
in the movie. So I have a feeling there's a nod to that.
Okay.
But I could be wrong, but definitely very similar. So it has to be, actually. I think that it's definitely a nod to that.
I think next year we should go deeper into Hammer Horror. I
Of
know
course,
we're already
yeah.
booked for this year, but next
Well,
year
we got one
Hammer
that's kind of
Horror.
like an old school.
Well, it's Universal.
Oh, Universal.
Universal's different.
Yeah,
Universal's
Hammer-
old school.
English
I couldn't remember which
Hammer
one you
Horror
said.
is like
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a couple, like the Satanic Rites of Dracula would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool one. But anyway.
And then I get just green pus and morgue. Just that whole scene is just
Yeah, so it's the embalming fluid.
the embalming fluid.
Yeah, and is that grandma or is that the nurse?
No, that's grandma.
I keep calling her grandma, Ma.
Ma.
Because she looks so fucking old. And amazingly, she lived to the Lord of the
Keep
Rings.
saying that.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, she actually looked okay, like in real life. They just put her
They
on,
kept
like, give her
caking-
horror makeup
yeah,
with
kept
made her look
caking
old.
on makeup.
So yeah, this green embalming fluid just coming out of her with the wheel spinning. Like I said, the tribute, I think, again, nod to Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
And so Peter Jackson's one of the guy with the white coat on and the glasses.
He's the assistant that
The
he yells
assistant.
at. Yeah.
And he basically plays the same character in Bad Taste too.
Does he really? Okay.
It's very similar.
I gotta watch Bad
Mannerisms,
Taste.
Yeah. So you'll probably notice.
Yeah,
that.
I know he's credited as the Undertaker's assistant in the credits.
Yeah.
So that's got to be him. Yeah.
So
He
then
looks so different though.
then he's
Because he
trying.
has short hair.
Yeah.
Like every Peter Jackson, he has some like kind of
Like long
longish
and
hair.
curly-ish?
Yeah.
So then they're doing like a sermon. I don't know why the casket's kind of like out back, and he's trying to give her another fucking shot, and she ends up like breaking through, right? And then they start wrestling. They kind of break through into the service, and everyone, and no one says like something's weird. Like why is it? I don't know.
Well,
That's what I mean,
she passes out, so they're like, he really loved his mom, but that's just strange, or whatever they say. You know, like, because he's like laying with her, so it makes it look like, even though she's fucked up, man.
Yeah,
like got green all over her. Like, I don't understand how they don't see that as weird, but oh no, he really loved his mom.
That's what I'm saying.
Strange. You know,
this entire movie, nothing seems out of
maybe
the
this
ordinary.
is normal for New Zealand. We don't know.
Maybe New Zealand life must be pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Man.
Do you know New Zealand? They have no animals. There are no deadly animals or reptiles on the island.
Really interesting.
Versus Australia that has...
Which is like next door, yeah.
Every fucking... Like, they have the most out of any country.
Yeah, they have literally fucking spiders that are the size of your head.
Now around the island, obviously, you've got great white sharks. But on the island itself...
Right, land animals.
Not one deadly land animal.
I
I don't know why that's
a thing,
but I mean, it's relevant, I guess.
Yeah?
Minus the rat monkey... Claymation rat monkey.
That's why they had to bring him in.
Yeah, they bring him in.
And then, so the next scene, he's going to exhume her.
Yeah, and that's where the punks show up.
Yeah, so they look like greasers.
Pretty much, yeah,
You know,
because it's the 50s.
It's the 50s, so they're like
Which
greasers.
it would be greasers, yeah.
I guess that does make sense.
Speaking of piss... Oh, I say piss on grave. Will you explain the piss on grave scene? I gotta use the link.
Yeah, so what happens is they catch him... Wow.
I'm gonna pick that up.
They catch him digging up his mother's grave, exhuming her or whatever, so they stop fucking with him. And this greaser guy goes to piss on her grave. And, she fucking... Her arm comes out and grabs his cock. And I think scratches him right there, so he gets possessed. And then...
Yeah, but the way it looks is it looks like he's fucking the grave. It looks
Right.
like, it looks like she's fucking him.
Right. You're right. Yeah.
And then
blood just starts going up.
Blows him back.
Yeah.
And he goes flying, and his friends see him, and it's his his entire intestines and rib cage are exposed.
Right. But then his friend gets bit somehow. Two of them run off.
Yeah.
And then we get to the Kung Fu priest.
That Kung Fu priest.
And I want Doug to be back for this part, because this part rules.
And it's so good it's bad, too, because you can see the act, like, in that moment, you can see it's a totally different dude that's probably an actual, like, an Asian Kung Fu artist that's playing the priest.
But it's the best, because it's very, like, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Because he does that whole move where he puts his leg over the arm and then just repeatedly kicks the guy in the face, which is the best.
Yeah.
But the part that reminds me of Monty Python is when he kind of twists the arm off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then he twists the other arm off. And then he does like a sweep and kicks his legs so they go off.
And cuts his
And then
legs
he's
off.
like sitting there like a stump like in Monty Python. But the difference between that and Monty Python is he kicks off his head at the end.
It's only a flesh wound.
Yeah. And the part he's like, when the guy thinks it's over, and Monty Python's the best, because I actually rewatched Monty Python the other day. And the best is when he's kneeling down and praying after, and then the guy comes over and just kicks him. He's like, come on. And then he takes off his legs. He's like, come here, you coward. Come over here. I'll bite your legs off. That's the best, dude.
Dude, that's gonna be probably one of the... I don't know. We should do that just for a comedy one.
Oh, yeah, I don't mind
that one
I
is...
love that. But I think that is a slight nod. I don't think it's like 100% nod, but the whole arms and legs being off, I think is a slight nod to Monty Python. And with the sarcastic nature of this movie, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
You know, because swallows can't carry coconuts, bro. How's a 5-ounce bird going to carry a 1-pound coconut?
It's about weight ratio.
That's right.
It's about weight.
The best. But yeah, that part ends, and he takes all the dead people now. Now you got the greaser guy.
It's funny, there was like 6 like dudes that got turned, right? But somehow...
It was 2.
But only one got brought to the basement.
Yeah, because the other one got his fucking head knocked off and legs and arms ripped off.
Oh, so I guess if you... But it's funny how later on, like, Untesting can come back to life and attack someone.
Right. But in that scene, though, the particular, like, cemetery scene, there's 4 dudes, but 2 of them run off, so they don't get fucked up.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's like the second one. So when the body lands and you can see the exposed ribcage, his friend's like, ah! But, and then the woman that came out of the grave, or the man, I think it's a woman, whatever the carcass is, the living dead thing that comes out, grabs him, the second guy that's yelling, like screaming when he sees his friend's body, and he gets fucked up too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 of the dudes get fucked up.
And did you explain how the priest actually died?
No, I did not, actually.
Alright, so he goes, like, he kicks all the zombies, or the greasers' asses, and then he's, like, does this jump kick, and somehow just gets impaled on, like, a statue with its finger pointing up, and he just gets fucking, that's just the end of it.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite actual lines in this one is, I'd kick ass for the Lord.
Yes. Yeah.
Probably the best. I mean, there's a lot of good like one-liners, but like just that one. It's just...
My two favorite scenes are back to back. It's that scene and the dinner scene, which we're coming up on.
I have one scene later, and I'll bring it up when it comes.
Yeah.
That it's probably there's so much going on in this time frame, but there's something about it that just.
But the dinner scene, man, with the nurse.
So it's coming up now. This is the lunch scene.
Whatever, lunch, dinner, whatever it is. Priest and the greaser.
Yeah, so there's the mom, the greaser, priest, and the nurse.
Yeah, what I just said.
Yep. I'm just reiterating here.
I have so many questions that'll never get answered about how this all...
Yeah, so he somehow he gets them all home without no one noticing. He ties them up in the chairs, and he's got like porridge or something for him. He's pouring the tranquilizer in.
Yeah. The best, though, is when the nurse that has the head removed, pretty much, and shit's hanging on by a thread, she's eating the porridge or custard or whatever it is, and it starts coming out her neck. So he actually, like, takes her head and puts it back so, like, her neck is supposed to feed her. And shoves it down her fucking throat. It is the best. And the spoon scene that you were talking about is in this part.
He's feeding her neck.
Yeah, it's
neck
crazy,
wound.
dude. It's awesome, though.
He goes over to the greaser, and he's like, no, use your spoon. So he gives him the spoon, and he ends up
stabbing
himself through the back of the head. And then you see the mom look over and grab the porridge or whatever off the bloody porridge off the spoon. Yeah, and at the same time, the nurse and the priest, he's got his hand.
He wants to bang her. Yeah. And they start kissing, but he breaks it up, and that's when shitbag uncle shows up.
Yep. Yeah, it shows up. And...
you're watching your father's old Stags videos.
Yeah, so he broke them up. He comes in. He gives them shit about like.
I guess we all grieve in our own way.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the donkey and the chambermaid?
Yeah. But he
got a lot of one-liners.
He's there like to try to get like money or the house out of it.
He told her that he was supposed to be part of the will, but she died so suddenly, but he was really up there to be, like beneficiary.
And then he's like, yeah, talk to the lawyers. He's like, we're family. We don't need to talk to lawyers. And that's when he hears the porn and the stag shit that you guys just said. He hears it's the priest and the nurse trying to hit the skins, bro.
Oh, yeah, and it's loud.
Oh, it's loud, yeah.
Yeah, this just gets louder and louder, more obnoxious. Yeah, he's like, oh, it's the pipes. This happens sometimes.
And then that's what he says again. What did he say? You found your dad's old stag films,
found
did ya?
Yeah, you found your dad's old stag films, did ya?
And then there's this awkward, like... He's like, well, everyone grieves and don't lie. And he's, like, shaking him. He's so awkward. Just everything with it, he's fucking cringeworthy. He reminds me of, like, the guy from Sleepaway Camp, like the
the cook.
Bald chicken.
He's the guy that you're like,
Baldies.
I can't wait to see him die.
Yeah.
Because he will.
Yeah. Like,
he's that guy.
Oh, he's an asshole, too. And that's what he gives him shit about Bokita, right? The bum. That's that part, too, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's taking a piss.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
he's like, oh, she could, whatever. She could clean my house, or she could do this. Yeah, he's all about it. When you see his fucking giant belt buckle.
Oh, yeah, when he's trying to piss, and it's like...
and he's like, struggling and shit.
He said, I think he's got like urinary tract infection. He says something, but he's just so vile.
But he's got like the herpes mouth too. You notice that?
As it went on, he got more and more.
Right. What is that? Because he didn't get bit. Is it herpis?
I think they're just showing you that like he's just like
a
dirty,
right?
He's just unclean.
Yeah.
So then you got the street scene where Lionel gets punched out. Chiquita, he's walking past the bus stop. And then she's like, Lionel, and then like the bus takes off. There's just a car, and he's nowhere inside. Then the car takes off, and he's just crouched. He's like, "Oh, shilling, must have rolled."
It's funny, but like when I was watching the last time, my buddy's like, "He's gonna vanish," and he did.
He's gonna vanish.
And then he ends up basically getting knocked out by we're punched in the face by that Roger guy.
So my notes are done because we're gonna get to the big part.
All right, so Uncle, blah blah blah. Okay, so he's coming back with that. During that scene, he's got the tranquilizer on his arm. So in the basement, he goes downstairs and everything seems normal, and all of a sudden he like starts hearing some weird shit coming from the radio, and fucking little baby hand rips out. So I'm pretty sure it's from the priest and the nurse. I'm pretty sure it's their baby because they don't really give any indication otherwise.
It actually makes a lot of sense. I was thinking the nurse was just pregnant going in.
Does it though? Does it make a lot of sense?
It doesn't. It doesn't. But the baby is like fucked up. And it's huge when he's running away.
It's a giant dead baby.
Yeah, but he's small in some scenes, and then you could tell it's like a midget or something. I'm sorry, a little person running, in a suit, or something,
And then what? Come on, why does he take this thing to the park?
All right, so fun
fact.
fact.
I was thinking the same thing. Why? Go ahead.
This wasn't an original scene in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
They finished $45,000 New England dollars under budget. So they spent 2
New
days.
England or New Zealand?
I'm sorry, I said New England.
You did.
He said New England. I'm like,
When he said, "What's a New England dollar?"
I just
It's a Dunkin's
that's what I was
card.
thinking. I was like, wait, what's a New England dollar?
Sorry, New Zealand. It's like a Dunkin's card. That's our currency here. So they finished 45,000 New Zealand dollars under budget. So they spent 2 days, and Peter Jackson's quoted saying that this is like his favorite scene and like the most fun to do. Like he enjoyed this the most in the movie. And that's why, like, why would he take this thing out in public? It was just for fun. Like this is just Peter Jackson's pure fucking entertainment.
Of course,
And
yeah,
I loved it
yeah,
because
yeah.
the moms are watching this guy. He fucking takes the swing and like smashes the kid, and the baby's like. And it's funny because it's not like an evil baby sound. It's like a.
Yeah, but the best
baby
though.
looks like fucking creepy. And he just throws the swing at its head, and it
That's a little later, but the best is when he's emulating what the other mother's doing. And so she's like, "Oh, with the baby," and then he puts his hand in, and the baby. But then you see, I just did that like we're on video, but like, yeah, the baby like, and he pulls his arm out, but then you see like a view from the baby and this barbed wire in front of it, which I think is awesome. And then he sees her pull out a doll, and so the baby, he does the same thing. He pulls out a little doll or like a stuffed animal, I should say, and he puts it in the carriage. And the fucking gets torn up, and that's when the baby gets out and starts all the trouble. Well, it rolls away and shit, you know. But
and then, you're right. It is definitely a small person.
Oh yeah. When you
Comes
see
running at him.
yeah,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
And then he's like beating the shit out of this baby, and you see like the drunk guy in the corner cheering.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah, beat that baby,
And then he ends up putting like stuffing it in a sack.
and then punching it.
And walks by the women. He's like, oh, hyperactive.
But the women look all disgusted, but nobody does anything.
No. Well,
Like, they don't care.
it's New Zealand.
So, can we just talk about how like good of like a actor Lionel is? Like speaking wise, he's
pretty good,
okay.
yeah.
But as
Yeah.
far as like his like Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
like bodily, like his actual like acting,
Yeah, like what is it? Physical humor.
physical humor,
He must be funny.
like he's very animated.
He must be a comedian in New Zealand.
He
I've
kind of
never
looks
heard
like
of
he
him.
kind of reminds me of like a New Zealandan Steve Carell a little bit, like a
Yes,
young Steve
Carell.
I get what you're saying.
Carell.
The
Correct.
nose, it's the nose. Yeah.
But yeah, I got you. He does remind me of Steve Carell.
I just
A little
at first like
bit,
you kind of get those like the especially when he's very awkward in like the very first scene.
Who he buys his own world's best boss mug,
Oh.
like in The Office.
Shout out to Steve Carell.
Yeah,
40-year-old version. Great movie.
Massachusetts
I still
guy
love-
too.
Yeah, he's from Newton.
Yeah, something like
Is
that.
he really?
And Matt LeBlanc from Friends was also from Newton.
Mhm.
I want to say Newton.
Yeah. He's a Massachusetts guy. That's all I know.
Shout
I
out-
forget from where though.
Shout out to Matt LeBlanc, but not from Friends. Shout out to Matt LeBlanc from Almost Heroes. Nobody knows about that movie.
How
so-
about Matt LeBlanc from the spin-off from Married with Children?
You know that. Come on.
That's not Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah,
That's
is.
Chandler.
That's Chandler. Yeah.
You're thinking of Matthew
I-
Perry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
yeah.
never-
Matt
I-
LeBlanc. Matt LeBlanc was in the spin-off of Married with
I'm
Children.
sorry, Friends. I never watched Friends, so I guess I have the two confused.
Joey's the best character by far. 'Cause he's just like this like cocky but not
Joey's
cocky
Matt
fatty.
LeBlanc.
Yeah,
Yes.
Joey's Matt
Oh.
LeBlanc. Yeah.
I don't even watch that show, and I know that.
I
shit.
just know the one with the tits, Jennifer Aniston. That's it.
The
That's all I
two
know.
things I know about Carcass, I actually know their actual real names, and I know there's a Carcass mention.
Oh yeah.
That's all I know.
There's a scene where Phoebe's getting married to Paul Rudd, and they want.
Oh, Paul Rudd's in it?
Yeah.
Is he in it a lot or like one episode?
No, he was Phoebe's boyfriend for like a couple seasons.
Oh,
I
man.
love Paul. That's when I first fell in love with
Paul
Paul Rudd.
Rudd's my
Man crush?
Yeah, if I had to like bang a dude or like a dude.
That's not
bang
true.
me,
He only started in Halloween 6.
Paul Rudd.
That was that. Yeah.
Role models, love it. I
Dude.
love you, man.
Oh, role
Love
models.
it.
I gotta watch that again.
40-Year-Old
Taste
Virgin?
the Beast.
Love it. Anchorman.
Anchorman, that's what it was. Not 40
Yeah, with the Puma, whatever.
Role
Jaguar.
models.
Oh,
was
Sex
the best
Panther?
one.
Sex Panther. That's it.
You know, they've done studies. They say 60% of the time it works. Every time.
he's the
That
best.
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
No, Joey's awesome on that show. But there was a Carcass reference. They're getting married and they want to get Carcass to play. And Phoebe's like, Carcass with a C or Carcass with a K? It doesn't matter. They're both great. It's like that's the little Carcass tidbit.
I just want to let you know that Milk was a bad choice.
Oh, Milk was a bad choice.
But anyway,
Oh, all right.
Anchorman, man, I love that movie.
I'm in a
That's
glass
another
case
movie
of
I'd love
emotion.
to do for comedies is Anchorman.
Yeah.
There's so much to break down in that fucking movie.
There's so much going on. Jack Black, he's awesome in that one too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, getting back on track
Throws
here.
the puppy.
We really went off track.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I love
Baxter.
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 And you ate a whole wheel of cheese and pooped in the fridge? I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
It's amazing, yeah.
Dude, there was a point in time where it was like 40-Year-Old Virgin and Anchorman just on loop.
Mm-hmm.
That was like right after like Van Wilder and...
But 40-Year-Old Virgin, we'll get back on track in a minute, but 40-Year-Old Virgin, though, the end of it kills me. Like the last 40 minutes.
Oh, no, it sucks.
It's the worst.
Like the best
But the first hour,
yeah,
or like hour and 20 minutes is great, but the end, the movie's way too long. Yeah. They should have cut like 30 minutes out of it. That's my complaint.
I need a movie with that Indian dude. He needed to do a movie on his own.
He killed the woman. He killed his wife in real life.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's what happened to him.
Yeah. He's doing time, bro.
Yeah. That's true.
It's not about
you know what though? It would have been funny to hear him kill his wife. It's not about the menu fact or the butt pleasures they gave you. Take this knife, you bitch.
Is it anal pleasures or butt pleasures?
Something. He says butt pleasures because it's like sounds innocent, but it's not coming from.
Why you always tell me to fuck a goat?
It's possible. His wife died because she probably thought he was hilarious while he was getting mad. She was like, "I can't take you seriously."
He killed her with laughter.
Laughter, yeah, exactly. All right.
Okay, so let's get back to it. That way,
tell me to fuck a goat.
We're all gonna die.
So Uncle Les finds the stiffs. He's like, "You got a lot of stiffs down there." And he says, "I don't want to be an accessory after the fact, so I'm gonna have to call the cops." So he blackmails Lionel into telling him that he'll give him the house, he'll give him the money, he doesn't care. Like at this point, dude, Marco, these are delicious, by the way. If you're looking for an Imperial IPA, whatever the fuck.
I'll try it. I'm gonna do this aeronaut shit.
I'm actually surprised. Shout out to my company, Ironheart Canning. We can quality fresh beer, and it's
9%. No wonder.
And those are not fresh. And I'm actually surprised at how long they've lasted. They're not.
I mean, Imperials last a little bit longer than
they do.
Other beers, right?
Yes, but I'm surprised at how good those are.
I'm drinking out of a glass that says "Pints Up for Veganism."
Look at the other side, sacrilege.
I love the Crusoe sends that vegan cartoon.
I need to watch the episode.
Mr. Pickles.
All right, let's find that episode after. Yeah, the vegan episode of Mr. Pickles. He's like, "Yeah, dude, you're such a troll episode." I'm like, "Dude, I'm not offended. I think it's hilarious."
That's great.
Yeah. Okay, so he basically says, "Yeah, you can have the fucking house." And Uncle Les makes Lionel stay in the house until he's like, "You're not going anywhere until the papers are signed." So he basically fucking makes him stay in the house. And then he decides to throw a party at his new digs.
Yeah, and then that's when Lionel's face like turns. He's like, "What the fuck, dude? I got 4 dead people in the fucking basement."
Yeah.
But did you say when the uncle, like, he found them, right?
Yeah. And
did you mention that?
Yep.
Oh, okay, I apologize.
Like, "Oh, you got a lot of stiffs
I was
down
getting a bit, I forgot. Yeah, I got you.
But again, like it's fine. Oh, you got a lot of stiffs down there. Like it's not like a big deal.
But he threatens to call the cops if he doesn't give him the house.
He actually calls the cops and he hangs up before he actually talks to someone. But yeah, so he basically Lionel, he's like, "I don't care. You know what I mean? I just want to take care of the shit in the basement and have a real life, allegedly." So then you see Paquita and Roger walking up the street, and she kind of looks over. Oh, and that says because he sucks. Yeah, she leaves him because he sucks, obviously, because he keeps talking about his rugby days, probably.
Yeah, he's a cocksucker. Yeah.
He's just super cocky. I hate him. It's fucking snowing again. Jesus Christ. So she hears a party going on at Lionel's house, so she fucking leaves, and all of a sudden he's still talking, looks around, she's nowhere to be found.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes down the basement and finds the stiffs herself.
Correct.
So they decide, like, you know, she's like, "Oh, he's surrounded by death." You know, she's seen the prophecy that the grandmother gave, like, and she's kind of putting 2 and 2 together, like, that he's not a murderer, he's just trying to, you know, fix everything that's going on fucked up in his life.
Right.
So they decide to tranquilize them and bury them, and they don't show them dismembering them. Like he should have known, if I cut their heads off like that other dude in the cemetery, if we completely dismember him and bury him and whatever,
right,
that they'll be. So all we know is that they tranquilize him and then bury him.
Mm-hmm.
But I know what you're gonna say.
They tranquilized him with the wrong shit.
Yeah, so that's coming up in a second. So Lionel goes to leave, and they get in a fight, and says basically, like I said before, "You're not leaving until the papers go through." So he tosses it back down the stairs, and then he sees the bottle rolling over, and it says poison. And it turns over and it says animal stimulant.
Correct. So
he realized that he didn't tranquilize them fuckers. He gave him fucking animal stimulant. So
and then all fucking hell breaks loose.
Yeah. So and then all. Oh.
I didn't even write notes after this.
All hell breaks loose. No.
Yeah.
It's not even worth it.
Yeah.
Because there's
so much shit.
There's so much going on.
So, mind you, I'm gonna just explain this real quick. We're about an hour into the movie. The movie's an hour and 30, or about an hour and 40. I think it's an hour and 37.
Yep.
Right? The last 40 minutes is literally gore. 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 Like a Gwar song.
Gore galore.
Gore galore. Gore gore. Gore gore. Love that Gwar song. But it's fucking insane. It just goes on. And let's get into it a little bit. I don't know where Kevin went. I think he's taking a dump.
Well, he sits to pee, so it takes a little bit longer for him to get shit done. So yeah, they all come back with a vengeance. He ends up leaving. He's locked in the basement with these people bursting. You just see like air bursting and fucking popping out of the ground. And then all of a sudden he goes to the door and he thinks he's locked in. And then what? He pulls out his talisman.
Yes.
And some guy just happens to open the door. Some drunk guy looking for the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So then he gets kind of like pushed over, and he's like the first one they rip apart, fucking ribs, and they just start literally ripping everybody apart.
Yeah, they literally rip his ribcage out. Which is awesome.
How fucking like. How realistic is that?
Right, and then you see
like the tendons, you see everything.
The gore in this movie's unbelievable.
Practical
actually,
effects are amazing.
Yeah.
Even the ribcage from the dude in the cemetery, everything looks
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, but and then at the same time, I think it's the nurse bites a dude in the neck.
Yep.
And it just starts this chaos, and everybody gets zombified for like 20 minutes. It's just craziness.
So here it brings us to my favorite scene. So there's a dude sneaking under what looks like a dumbwaiter.
Yes.
And then
I was just about to bring that up.
And then the door shuts on him, and you just see his legs get pulled through, and they're just fucking. He's just laying on the ground. There's these two little legs.
Yeah, and it's
like
very
bones.
comedic, very funny.
It's very comedic because he's help me. And it's like, well, you have no fucking legs.
But if you notice, his like ankles and feet are full, but he's stripped down to the bone from like thigh to ankle.
So
it's weird,
so
but it's awesome.
At first, like I had to watch this six times because first you see that and you almost start laughing.
Oh, it's hilarious! Dude, I laugh.
But then you see the woman looks at him and does this, and she's doing like the Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, Macaulay Culkin.
And it's the most fucking violent. Like someone just the greaser just fucking punches right through her fucking face, and it's so like because you don't see like a
it comes out her mouth.
Scene. Yeah.
The back of her head.
Right through the back of her head, through a mouth. It's so fucking violent. And then he goes to go and choke fucking people with a bloody hand with her still on it.
Yep.
It's just, it's so,
Yeah.
It's so fucking violent, but done so well too. You can't even, like, how do they do that?
And my question is that the same lady that gets the light bulb in the head? It is, right?
The red dress. I called her Dottie. Red dress with the white dots.
There's like a storm going on.
There's snow squirrels coming through.
Yeah, it's a couple hours. Don't worry about it.
Not only that, but dude, even the bushes over here, the
wind, yeah.
The bushes
it's
are
called
like,
wind.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they said next few hours. Liz just texted me. She said it's
a good time to go out and get Mexican.
Yeah. Get carried away. Luckily, it's like...
And margaritas. We're going to get crazy.
Ooh. So girl in red dress stands up, screams. Yeah, so she gets fucking like punched right through her head. And I don't know why, but just that one scene. I mean, there's so many great scenes, but just the legs, and you're so thrown off guard by him just like violently punching through her head.
I love it.
Yeah, and then he starts attacking people. So then, at this time, there's the scene where Lionel, I think what's his name, gets cut in half. The greaser gets cut in half. They're in the bathroom. He goes through the ceiling. Mm-hmm. And he finds, the talisman spins when he's in the attic to a chest. He opens it up, and there's a whole nother like weird backstory.
Yeah. So earlier in the movie, she explained that the father died in some weird way. I can't remember, drowning.
He says it at the zoo when they're at the water part of the zoo.
But he finds pictures of his father with like a woman.
Yeah.
And then finds the body in the chest, like it's like an old skeleton. Decomposed.
But it's only one though. If she killed both, you think there'd be two in there.
Why was there only one? Where did those intestines come from that pop out of it?
I think they were coming up through the bathroom because he puts the chest over to cover the hole.
Okay.
Where the guy was downstairs.
That's the part, like the certain things in the movie, like with the guts, I didn't understand.
Yeah, the guy, like why those got so potent where
and nobody else's guts come alive.
Yeah,
it's weird. There's like this whole thing.
Go back and don't think too.
Don't overthink. It was just there for effect, of course. Yeah.
And my favorite part, which we're at the lawn. We're basically let's skip to the lawnmower scene.
Yeah. So there's a
I got that right here.
In general, there's a bunch of chaos. A bunch of people get split in half. A bunch of people, and then the lawnmower scene. Go ahead.
My favorite part. It's not even the lawnmower itself. My favorite part of this is the fucking slice in half head. That's being kicked around for like 10 minutes. That was my favorite. It had nothing to do with the goddamn lawnmower. It was literally the head that has been...
Yeah, so that's from the uncle. and he stuck the shears and cut his head off.
There are so many. I was gonna write down some of my favorite kills.
Yeah.
There are so many great kills and so many different
it's too much.
ways.
It's too much.
It's almost to the point where it's so great. It's like it's overwhelming.
Look, there's so many kills in this movie that if we mentioned every single kill, we'd be here for like 5 hours.
And then the guy's head gets kicked around in this entire bloodbath, and then ends up
me so much.
And then ends up into a fucking blender.
So I was talking about this yesterday, right? Like teeth bother me. There's a part where they rip out teeth.
Oh, like Uncle Les for no reason, just keep walking out. Oh, you got a cavity there.
But even his teeth with the head, because like it's cut off at like the mouth where the top teeth are.
Yeah.
Even the teeth just on the ground, I was like,
I didn't know you skeeved by teeth. I'm like, I don't blame you.
Teeth.
Eyes and teeth. Eyes definitely.
Fuck out, man.
Hey, it's like those dreams. Dreams of losing your teeth. Awful. Terrible.
You remember the movie The Dentist?
Oh.
Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Or like, I can't watch that fucking movie. Like, I cannot because like the teeth, and it's not even that horrific, like compared to shit I've seen, but the teeth really get to me.
Yeah, because
I can't do it.
You play on your own fears in your head, and it makes it tenfold.
Something about teeth, man. Pulling teeth out, like you said, fingernails earlier too. Kind of fucks me up. I wasn't even thinking of that.
I can touch my own eye, but if like remember when kids would like flip their eyelid inside?
Oh, I can't do it. Yeah,
my sister used to do it. I'd want to punch her.
I never attempted it.
It still makes me squeamish thinking about needles into eyes and stuff like that. Like anything with your eye.
Don't watch Italian horror, like I said already.
Yeah, I know.
Don't watch
Giallo,
that shit,
dude. Yeah, or scooping out the.
eyes. They love eyes, man.
They know it. It plays on like rational fears. You know what I mean? Like. That could happen to anybody at any time.
No, because I'm gonna again shout out In Search of Darkness one more time. They did a whole like 10-minute segment on the second one, and yeah, that's what they were talking about. But the movies look so fucking good.
Here's the thing.
I didn't know Phenomena was Italian. I had no idea.
Oh yeah, Phenomena. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Even though it has what's her name,
Maiden.
Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly,
and
Donald Pleasence.
And it's got some Iron Maiden in it too, which is great.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny too. Yeah,
Going up to that cottage.
I watched like a album ranking today. This is where I get these ideas.
Yeah.
There's this. I'll shout out them out. It's a channel called Thralls of Metal. I was watching an Iron Maiden ranking today, and they mentioned the Phenomena thing.
Yep.
Do you remember what song it was?
They called it Phenomenon though.
Phenomenon.
It was in. I thought it was from Power Slave. I thought it was from Power Slave.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. Was it Back to Village or Flash of the Blade? I think it was Flash of the Blade.
No.
I think.
It's
yeah, Flash of the Blade.
Flash of the Blade.
Yeah, it's Flash of the Blade. Yeah, they mentioned it. I literally watched the video today. So
it's Phenomena.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, but in the States, we called it Creepers.
Yeah, but they called it Phenomenon.
Oh, Phenomenon.
Yeah, they're idiots.
Wasn't that the one with what's his name?
Jam and John.
Wasn't Phenomenon John Travolta movie?
Yes, yeah.
Was it?
No.
I
remember
Phenomena. I got that too. All right, I got I was on the same page as you, and you said that. Phenomena.
Powder.
But yeah, Donald Pleasence was also in that. He was like the creepy old guy.
Remember Powder?
I do remember Powder.
That was John Travolta, though.
No, I don't think so.
I thought that was some Ginger, some Q-tip guy.
I don't know. I thought Travolta was in it. I don't know.
Maybe he was like a kid. I don't know. All right.
I've never seen Powder, so I just remember the commercials.
He was like a.
You've never seen Powder?
No.
Didn't he have like Electro Man?
He was albino.
He was albino, and he was like, they like kept him in a basement or something, and man, what a fucking movie! Jesus.
Oh, sidetracking.
What's your name?
So Uncle Les.
My name is Powder, and I'm sensitive. Yeah, to light.
It's like me, myself, and Irene when they meet Casper, where like he's like, yeah, my friends call me Q-tip.
Yeah.
You know, and he just, oh my god, that movie's so brutal.
You ever seen one more movie, The Heat? With Sandra Bullock and Melissa, whatever, the McCarthy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember the albino FBI agent? Yeah.
What about?
Dude, that's a riot.
Yeah, that movie's great. Yeah.
Do we have that?
Yes.
Okay.
The movie's great. You ever seen The Heat?
I have not seen.
Oh, watch it. It's fucking hilarious.
People
man.
Under the Stairs.
That's a great movie.
I saw that.
Yeah. Fool? You thinking of Fool?
I don't know. I was just thinking of the Gimp.
Yeah, the Gimp. Yeah. Pulp Fiction has a Gimp. All right, go ahead.
All right. So at the same time, Uncle Les in the basement and meets Mom, quote unquote. And this is where Uncle Les finally meets his demise, and it's very. I got a bit of a nod to The Thing here. You just see the shadow.
Yes.
But then once he comes upstairs, he's got like the spine's like elongated, and he's got this like. You guys can't see me, but this. You know what I mean? Did you get like a thing vibe from that?
Yes. Yeah. And the part I liked, I don't know if you mentioned it because we fucking went way off topic for a minute there, but is like right before that, like he was trying to like kind of rape Paquita.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, when he got kicked in the nuts. Remember, he had that like bottle to his nuts, and he was like, whatever.
Within this whole last minute scene, he gets hit in the nuts 5 times.
Yes.
And it's almost like he's pulling his fly up like she bit him, but we don't see it. Mm-hmm. And he just says, that bitch, blah, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, so he's a
fucking
too.
asshole. Yeah,
he's
fuck
a scum.
him.
So he gets...
Piece of shit.
I almost wish his death... Well, he does get his comeuppance, though, because he comes in the room, and she fucking rips off, like, the spinal cord and swings it around and smashes it on the table. So she gets her final... Just like in Sleepaway Camp, she gets her final comeuppance by...
Correct. Yeah.
You know? That's what
awesome.
Yeah. So this is kind of where you think after the whole lawnmower scene, I forgot about this whole extra little part with the mum.
Yeah, man.
So you think it's over.
That shit's fucked up.
And then he's sitting there full of blood, chainsaw in hand still, and Chiquita runs up, kisses him, and he's like, get out of here. And she looks at him like, we just went all through all that, and you're still like, you know...
We haven't seen Mum yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen Mum yet.
Yeah.
So, and all of a sudden, fucking Mum comes through the floor. And this whole thing, it kind of reminded me of, like, The Gate for some reason. The movie The Gate. Where, like, it's just, like, she's, like, I mean, obviously, Meet the Feebles came out a couple years before this, so he probably had some puppet mastery type friends. Like, because it's just, everything's very over-exaggerated. Like, big floppy titties, like, big ass cheeks, like, big thighs.
But the
like,
thing is, how did she get so fucking big?
Well,
like her hand is like the size of like a human.
I know, like and like the nails and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no like if they gave her like an extra animal stimulant shot, maybe okay, that's why. But like other than that, it's like why did
she ends
she
up
get
being massive? Like she's like a giant. You know, it's weird. Like this is the only part of the movie. Again, I'm not questioning it. It's whatever it is. But I was like, how that happened? No other person that happened to, but all of a sudden she's just
I
like
just
this
thought
beast.
of it. The plot of this movie is Mum.
It is.
Is Mum?
Mum is the plot.
Yep. It's totally the plot. And he even yells at her, you lied to me this whole time, and all that shit, you know?
So she breaks through the floor. They start climbing up the chimney. And then he confronts her on the roof about drowning Dad and Mrs. Basically in front of him, because they show the flashback where he's like sitting on the toilet watching the mom drown. And even then she looks fucking old, but... and then, come back to Mom! You see, like, the belly open like a Venus flytrap, and he kind of gets, like, sucked in.
He gets sucked in, yeah.
And then he ends up, she thinks, you know, and then she's poking at Chiquita, holding on to, like, a pipe with the big nails, and she's got one arm left, and all of a sudden you see the talisman rip through the belly, and opens it up.
And then a shitload of blood just pours the fuck out.
Dude, and it's like gallons.
It's like a waterfall.
Yeah, it's like The Shining, like, you know, on the second floor.
Definitely, definitely like The Shining. Yeah, man, you got it right on the nose.
And then they zip line down to safety, and they kiss.
Mm-hmm. Now, in a way, like...
And everything's back to normal in New Zealand,
I don't know why.
What about all the other...
That whole ziplining and when he broke out of the belly scene, I don't know why. It harkened me back to, like, Evil Dead in some weird way.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I saw him as kind of almost like an Ash character by that point.
Like, he's just gone through so much, nothing can faze him, and he just needs that little heroic at the end.
Yeah. He just reminded me of Ash. I don't know why. I know it's not a direct nod. I don't think it is. But it just, to me, I was like, wow, that reminded me of Ash. I don't know why. Did anybody catch that? I just know.
Man, I got a lot. I mean, even still, there's certainly... I would say this is like a combo of Evil Dead / Monty Python.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like Evil Dead 2, right?
Yeah, more like Evil Dead 2, definitely.
Like with all the extra blood, like shit.
Yeah.
In the comedy.
In the comedy,
Evil Dead 2's... Did this come...
Evil Dead 2 is the more comedic one,
yeah.
That still came out before this.
Yeah, it came out like 88.
Yeah,
Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
I think it was like 88. Because Evil Dead 1 came out like 80...
Evil Dead will
81,
always...
81,
dude,
82,
Raimi,
something like that.
Dude, him and Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, they get the Golden Award for, like, comedic horror, period.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were ahead of their time, for sure. Especially being a couple friends, you know, it's not like one went to film
This
school.
isn't original because, I'm like, we could all say this is, like, totally Evil Dead 2, just New Zealand, but it's
to an extent, yeah.
wicked slapstick, English. It's like English-style comedy. Totally different from American comedy.
Correct.
I like
Night
New Zealand better than, like, British comedy can be very dry. I love, like, the Monty Pythons and stuff, but, like...
They're dry.
So they can be very dry, like almost like
English dry humor. There's some shit we don't get. Honestly, I think it's a cultural thing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But you feel like you're part of New Zealand. You feel like, you know what I mean. They have the accent a little bit, but you feel like you know what's going on.
I felt like I was in San Francisco half the movie for some weird reason.
Well, dude, like the house they're on.
Yeah, the hills.
The fucking hills are amazing.
And the carts there. The
trolleys.
The trolleys. Yeah. Because it's funny because even when I was watching last night, my buddy came in like when we were like 20 minutes. Oh, is this San Francisco?
You do get those vibes.
You know, so I got that
50s
vibe, yeah.
in the 50s, you know.
Beautiful country.
But all right.
Few.
What do we think of the movie?
I just have a few other fun facts.
Oh, okay. Fun facts. Go ahead.
So,
And then we'll do what we think of the movie.
So allegedly, in Sweden and other non-American countries, rentals and some movie theaters actually gave out vomit bags. When
Really?
yeah, with this, which I, mean, I wish they were like
Plus pudding bags.
Yeah,
You know, it's amazing though. Over time, I get it. Like, shit that was shocking like 40 years ago is not shocking today.
yeah, just like
You
there used
know?
to be puke bags in airplanes. Now
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
see them.
Oh, that's still there.
I haven't seen them.
Really?
Actually, those aren't poop bags.
Maybe.
I just fill them with poop every time. I haven't seen a puke bag in a plane in years.
Really?
But, so it's shot in 11 weeks. And that's pretty much it. Not a ton.
Yeah, I couldn't find a lot of facts. That's why I didn't even. I just let you get yours, and you already had them, so I was like, fuck it.
Not a million, but there's for New Zealand, especially horror. Like, there's some site I follow, and they were talking about like, hey, we obviously not Evil Dead, Braindead, but like, what other movies were shot in New Zealand? There's a couple like underground ones that I've never heard of, but there's not a ton of movies that came out of that area.
I mean, it's a small fucking country, man.
Yeah,
I will say one scene we forgot that I love is when Bakita's asking him which toothbrush is for his mother's as they're going to the hospital to put her away, and he's getting choked by his dead mother, and he's like,
Green.
I swear, and I don't know if you guys caught this, I'm pretty sure the mother says green, but in like her like voice, she's like,
Yeah,
she's like, "Grrr," and he's like, yeah, she goes, "Grrr," and he's like, green. Yeah,
Instead of like, help me, I'm getting choked,
funny,
he says green.
I'm getting choked, and I'm going to answer a question about which fucking toothbrush she wants to take to her.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
Paquita, attractive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. She actually like, you know what throws it off is she just has that early 90s look with the hair.
The hair. If she had like long flowing hair.
Yeah, but that scene at the beginning where she wants to impress Roger, she thinks Roger's the man for her before she meets whatever.
Yeah.
When she takes off that coat, she has that dress on.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And at the funeral, like when she's in the black dress, she looks great.
I think
in
she's
Covenant of Blood, she looks
Now,
great.
last
Covenant of
question
Blood.
before we end the cast.
Well, we got to do our reviews, but yeah.
Flesh neck nurse or nurse?
Flush neck. We'll take flush neck.
There's just more holes with the
Yeah,
flesh.
yeah,
Oh.
Okay. Obviously, you guys know I've seen this, and I've loved this one for years and
Yeah.
years and years.
Well, you suggested it, so.
So you guys know it's a pass for me. I think it's done. The practical effects, like there's just so much going on. Like it's amazing they did that all under $3 million. Where you see like I watched Nightmare on Elm Street last night, where there's like 2 scenes that probably cost $20 to do, and then the budget was fucking $5 million or whatever
Nightmare
it
on
was.
Elm Street's just brilliant, but.
No, but I'm saying as far as like these like just over the top
Brilliant.
effects go.
The first one.
So you guys know how I feel about it.
No, I get it.
You
I get
guys watching
Different
it-
styles of movies, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the budgets, it's like crazy budget. That's a modest budget, I guess, compared to in New Zealand. I guess Dead Alive got more fucking screen time in the theaters than Batman Returns.
I don't typically like cheap horror. I love this movie. It's hilarious.
Nice.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I want to own it, but I don't.
You can't find it.
Fucking
Yeah.
iTunes. I can't. I would own it because it's funny as fuck. It's great. The horror's great. The practical effects are great. It's fun. It's so fun, and it's supposed to be cheesy, and the music's cheesy, and yeah, I mean it is. That's why I can understand why it's a cult classic.
Yeah, so for me, the first time I tried watching it, I shut it off after like 20 minutes. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, it's pretty bad. The acting seemed over the top, and I shut it off. And then I was like, I gotta watch this movie. So the next day, I watched it again. And I'm like, all right, now I'm starting to get it. It's got that sarcastic.
Yes.
I didn't just get far enough to really realize what it was. I just thought it was over the top. And then when you see everybody in their costumes, it made a lot of sense. And I was like, you know what? This is pretty fucking good.
That's what I mean. Yes.
But at first I was like, I don't.
No, the opening scene. I was like, this is gonna be
horrible.
Oh yeah, it looked
fucking horrible.
terrible.
Yeah.
It looked like a shitty Indiana Jones ripoff or something.
bad.
Like, what the
Just
fuck are we
but
watching?
really bad.
Yeah.
And for me, like I said, it was the bad music. It wasn't so much the scenery or how like the Indiana Jones guy was like running with his arms flailing and stuff, and I was
Right.
like, it was the music, the beep, 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 like the bad I'm like, this is just terrible.
Yeah.
But again, knowing iconic scenes and then watching further, I was like, this is totally supposed to be a fucking spoof. Like, I mean, I get it.
It doesn't take itself too seriously, and when you go into it knowing that, it's just a fucking fun
And
ride.
it gets better, and it's fun,
Look,
and it's a really great movie.
It really took me because the first time I watched it, I was kind of like half watching. Well, the second attempt, I was kind of half watching, and
Yeah.
I remember what really sold me was Kung Fu Priest, and that's honestly the scene that.
Oh, so you weren't sold until like almost an hour? Into
No,
the
no,
movie,
because I was
or-
kind of like.
Yeah, I mean,
So this was
the
my
minute
second-
mom with the nerd. I was just like,
But,
oh my god, this
I
is
thought
awesome.
again, I still thought it was kind of cheesy, but Kung Fu Priest, even though cheesy,
Yeah.
was excellent. Like it just made me fucking laugh.
Over the
And then-
cheesy.
That was my second attempt at watching it, and I started to like it. By my third attempt, I fucking loved it. It's like listening to a fucking like an album.
Yeah, it takes a
You know,
little time to
sometimes
grow
it takes
on
a
you.
couple
That takes
times.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck
You know, and with this one, by the third like I'd say the second real watch, but third attempt, I was in love with it.
If you
And
don't
now
like
I
this-
fucking love this fucking
yeah,
movie.
if you don't like
Yeah.
this, and you, I mean, if you think you like comedic horror and you don't like this, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And-
It's so good.
Yeah, and the telltale that I
It's so
really
good.
like it is I actually looked forward to watching it with my friends last night.
Ooh, like you're excited to show them.
fun.
Almost.
Yeah, because like I said, I was with my friends and I'm like, I gotta go home to do the fucking thing. He's like, oh, let's check if it's on. I said, let me check YouTube because I knew it was on Amazon, like he was saying. So I'm like, let me check YouTube. Oh, it's on YouTube. So they put it on, and dude, everybody was like looking at the screen the whole time. They're like, what the fuck are we watching? But they loved it, and it just shows, man. You know. And honestly, last night was probably the first night where I didn't look away. I actually caught the ear for the first time, the ear in the pudding.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and this is my fourth time watching. I didn't catch that because maybe I was looking at my phone for a second. You know, phones are fucking distracting.
The worst.
You know what? I'll say this too. If you're afraid that your shit's gonna get censored from YouTube, if Dead Alive is still on YouTube, you have nothing to worry about.
Right. Though they do.
It's only one. Whoever had that up, there's only one person that put that movie up.
Yeah.
We watched the same copy, I'm sure.
We did, yeah.
There is a version. So the original version had like 7 minutes more in the lawnmower scene.
This is.
I don't know which one we end up watching.
This movie is. It's an hour. I think it's like an hour 40.
37. Yeah,
something like
137. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a short one, but it keeps you entertained the whole
No,
time.
you know what though?
Oh,
though again, I'm gonna say it one more time. I know we're fucking just beating this into the head. That last 40 minutes is amazing.
Dude, so much
Like
going
if
on.
you're a gore fan, and dude, you gotta watch the last 40 minutes of this fucking movie.
It's yeah.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it
Great
is,
practicals.
So the scene where the woman, like I was talking about before, my favorite scene where she got punched through the face,
Yeah.
through the mouth,
In the
but
back
then-
of the head, yeah.
And Marco said she ends up getting like, I think Paquita or someone ends up
Pushes her, yeah.
pushes her under a light bulb, so her face is lit up like a doll's face.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so fucking creepy.
And you know what I love about it is the light keeps going off, so her like face keeps turning orange, and then eventually she burns up.
Yeah, then she bursts into
But
flames.
that takes a while to get to. Like it shows that lady probably like for 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh yeah,
like, yeah,
And
with her
then
face
Chiquita-
lighting up.
Then Chiquita turns on the gas and blows up
Yeah.
the kitchen. Then there's the whole like food processor scene, which I don't know if that was even a thing in the 50s, especially in fucking New Zealand. But
Don't know.
I didn't look at any continuity type shit. I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother. But
again,
Throw-
why throw continuity out the window? Because
throw
this
for
movie,
this one,
out
no,
the window.
this movie doesn't need it. It's so sarcastic and like again, this shit thrown in like the baby scene. Why? But why not?
because he could.
Right.
It was funny.
He thought it was fucking funny, and he had the time and the money. He's like, you already spent this much money
But
on the movie.
was that scene necessary?
Not a bit.
Not
but
in the
it-
least.
But it added just that little bit of.
Sure, I
Comic
love
relief,
that scene.
yeah.
It's funny. Everybody again. This is the judge of a good scene. Is everybody even said it? What the fuck is this for? But they couldn't keep their fucking eyes off the goddamn screen.
I don't know what it's for, but I'm glad it's there.
Yes.
On that note, we're gonna let you guys find the movie.
It's
And
on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
There is parts though that they take the audio out. I think probably because of copyright.
Yeah.
If anyone's actually listening, let me know. I'll send you a copy on flash drive. How's that?
Yeah, or what we can do, we'll include the YouTube video link in the description so that you can just click on the link in our podcast right from either Podbean or Apple Podcasts, and you can do, or even our YouTube, because I guess we upload it to YouTube directly.
Sorry,
too.
we're not on Spotify.
I think we just don't check. We haven't checked.
No, I think you would have gotten an email saying, "Hey, you finally were."
Oh, it's
approved
because
with Spotify.
The
Spotify still
format.
refuses
format,
to use
yeah.
the
It's
format.
MP4 or something.
No, you know why they're doing it? Because they want you to go through Spotify directly.
Spotify, I love you, but I fucking hate you at the same time.
Stop being a bunch of cunts.
I love
Spotify.
Spotify. Even though it wasn't working last night.
All right,
I'm just
On
glad
that
you
note,
guys
we're out.
actually enjoyed this.
we loved it.
Yeah, it was awesome. Dude.
You should
Thumbs up.
watch it.
Thumbs
It's great. All right, it's a great movie to watch around Halloween to laugh too.
Yeah, and the only thing I will say, this is my last
Fun.
comment of the movie. Yeah, if you don't like silly shit, you ain't gonna like it. But if you
No.
don't mind sarcastic humor
Yeah.
and real silly shit, it's cool, man. It was a fun fucking movie.
This is Kev saying, "What? No pudding?"
This is Marco with a chainsaw, baby. Well, it's not a chainsaw, a lawnmower. Lawnmower, baby. Yeah, lawnmower, baby.
And Doug, a.k.a. Funny in the Head.
Thanks for listening. Good night.
Awesome. That was great.